Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The signing that the Lakers made last season and caused controversy because the deal was cancelled could happen again. Center Mark Williams is healthy and the Lakers want to sign him again, but this time in exchange for success, and they will keep the player. Mark Williams gets defensive and offensive rebounds, has physical strength, is young, and is a scorer. Luka Doncic even stated that he is interested in Mark Williams playing for the Lakers. Therefore, this deal could happen and the Lakers could sign Mark Williams again. After their saga at the trade deadline this season, could the Lakers and Hornets agree to a Mark Williams trade again? With the need for a center being the big, looming question over the summer for the Lakers, we'll be taking a look at a number of potential targets, both via free agency or trade. Today, we start with Mark Williams. The only thing more surprising than how swiftly the Lakers made a move for a young center during the season was how quickly it all went away. When President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka spoke after the trade for Luka Doncic, he painted a grim picture of the trade market regarding available centers. So, when he completed a trade for Mark Williams just over 24 hours later, it was quite the surprise. But not as surprising as the trade being rescinded 3 days after that. Williams was a Laker unofficially for about 72 hours before the deal was called off over 2 days after the trade deadline. The Hornets were pretty clearly unhappy about it, but nothing came of their displeasure and both franchises went on to finish out their seasons. However, with the chance to go back to the table, could the two teams restart negotiations and find an agreement on a deal? How would he fit with the Lakers? Well, the good news is that we had about 72 hours to figure this out, so there isn't much new to dive into. Williams is an athletic, lob-catching center who has a whole lot of potential. At the same time, he also, as we learned, has some pretty concerning injury concerns. This season, Williams didn't return to the court until after the All-Star break and played 21 of the Hornets' final 29 games. Largely speaking, his absences were either attributed to his foot or rest, though it was also entirely likely Charlotte was just resting him so they could tank late in the year. During his exit interview, he spoke about being healthy heading into the offseason as well. "Health-wise, I'm in a great place," said Williams during exit interviews. "Obviously, I finished the year. Besides the start of the season, I was playing every game besides the back-to-backs. The foot feels good. I'm fine, no issues there. After the All-Star break, I was able to be in more and more of a rhythm and have some pretty good games at the end of the year." But it's hard to imagine the Lakers' concerns were necessarily about the short term, but instead the long term when it comes to Williams. How much would the Lakers have to give up? Conveniently, we also know where the line in the sand is for the Lakers. It's definitely something less than Dalton Connect, a first-round pick and a pick swap. In reality, I think 2 of those 3 things would probably be off the table. Would they do a straight swap of Connect for Williams? Potentially. A first-round pick for Williams? Potentially. The pick swap would just be a sweetener to any deal because, odds are, a Luka-led Lakers team will finish in a better position than the Hornets. It feels most likely, then, that the trade would be built around Connect and Williams. How realistic of a target is he? It's important to note that, while the Lakers rescinded the trade in February, that wasn't necessarily because they had zero interest in acquiring Williams. That was a result of the circumstances. With the trade deadline having passed, the Lakers' 2 options were either say yes to the deal or say no to the deal. It's not uncommon for something to come up in medicals and physicals and for the teams to renegotiate the deal. In this instance, that wasn't possible. Therefore, I think it's entirely possible the Lakers give the Hornets a call to further discuss things. Now, there isn't a trade deadline rushing things and the 2 sides could have longer conversations about where they stand. The problem is, the Hornets certainly sounded like a team that felt pretty they got the short end of the stick. Williams' trade value is obviously going to take a big dip after the Lakers backed out of the deal. Do they want to return to the table and agree to a worse deal than they would have gotten 4 or 5 months ago? Do they have much of a choice? Statistically, Williams was basically the exact same player in the second half of the season as he had been. Did that help restore some of that trade value? Ultimately, it would be a surprise if Williams became a Laker again. But everything that has happened with Williams, the Lakers, and the Hornets has been a bundle of surprises. Austin Reaves wants to play entire career with Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers guard Austin Reaves has rapidly ascended from undrafted free agent to bona fide third option and one of the best in the league in that regard in just 4 seasons. But after a rough showing in LA's first-round loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, questions arose about Reaves' place in the Lakers' future next to Luka Doncic. Doncic and Reaves were actually a positive net rating when playing together this season, but there are valid concerns about the fact that neither is elite on the defensive end. And with the way teams are being structured now, having 2 defensive liabilities on the court at any given time is a difficult pill to swallow in the playoffs. But if Reaves has any say in the matter, he's going to be with the Lakers for a long time. He recently spoke at a basketball camp hosted by he and his brother, Spencer, about his future in LA, via Charles McCary of K8 News. I think the sky's the limit for us. We're moving in the right direction. Obviously, adding Luka Doncic, it gives you a Hall of Fame player such a young age that you can build around, and then obviously, still having LeBron James, the IQ, and still running around at 40 years old, but I want to be in LA. I want to play my whole career in LA. I love it there. I love the fans. Love the weather, love the golf. And obviously the Lakers is the best organization in basketball. On trade rumors, I don't pay attention to it. I keep my head down work, and I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm where I'm at. Reaves is extension eligible this summer but is widely expected to decline the maximum offer of 4 years, $89.2 million that the Lakers can offer him. Instead, he'll likely decline his player option and become an unrestricted free agent next summer, when he can sign as big a deal as he can get with the Lakers or another team. If he is serious about wanting to be a Laker for life, that bodes well for LA in their negotiations with him next summer. But first, the Lakers need to see what a full season with Reaves and Doncic looks like. Lakers reportedly bringing back 2 underwhelming veterans next season. This isn't the news Lakers fans were hoping to hear. The NBA offseason is already in full swing after Sunday's blockbuster trade involving the Memphis Grizzlies and Orlando Magic, and now Los Angeles Lakers fans are receiving some news regarding their team's plans for the summer. The Lakers' need to address the frontcourt has been discussed far and wide throughout the basketball world following their opening round exit from the 2025 NBA playoffs. While those needs, especially in the starting lineup, remain, it appears as though we're seeing some clarity concerning the team's plans regarding its reserve big men. Much to the chagrin of fans in Los Angeles, 2 members of last year's roster are reportedly expected to return to the franchise for the 2025-26 campaign. Lakers reportedly bringing back Jemison next season. According to Jovan Buha of The Athletic, Lakers fans can expect Christian Koloko and Trey Jemison III to be back with the franchise this coming season as the front office continues to look for ways to add a veteran difference maker on the interior to play alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic in the starting lineup. With Jemison already on a 2-way contract for this coming season, Buha believes the big man will be part of the bench rotation of bigs. Koloko's case is a bit different, as he is a restricted free agent this summer. Barring more lucrative offers coming in from other teams, Buha suggests that retaining Koloko on another 2-way contract is a real possibility. As is the case for most 2-way players, Jemison III and Koloko saw plenty of playing time at the NBA level this past season, but neither was relied upon heavily. In 22 appearances last season, Jemison III averaged 2.6 points and 2.8 rebounds in 10.3 minutes per game. Koloko, on the other hand, saw time in 37 games for Los Angeles this past season and averaged 2.4 points and 2.5 rebounds in 9.2 minutes per game. These aren't the type of big-name acquisitions that fans expect out of the Lakers this summer in one form or another. Rob Pelinka's job is to build a complete roster, though, not just a starting lineup. These depth pieces were going to have to be addressed in one way or another, and the brain trust in Los Angeles has seen enough out of these two to reportedly have legitimate interest in keeping both in the fold moving forward. Former Tennessee Vols standout Dalton Knecht makes strong statement about his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. Former Tennessee Vols standout Dalton Knecht had an eventful rookie season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Knecht, a first-round selection by the Lakers in the 2024 NBA Draft, scored a career-high 37 points in just his 14th career game. He was nearly traded to the Charlotte Hornets before the All-Star game, in a bizarre deal that was rescinded after Knecht actually reported to the Hornets. And then he was barely used during Los Angeles' series loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the opening round of the playoffs. And he did all of that while playing alongside LeBron James, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Knecht experienced more in one season than some players experience in a career. There have been rumblings that Knecht could be traded by the Lakers during the offseason. Los Angeles needs to add a dependable center to the roster to truly become a championship contender. Knecht is viewed as a player that could be used by the Lakers in a trade to acquire a big man. The former Vol, however, is hoping to remain in Los Angeles. Knecht told TMZ this past week that he's all in on the Lakers. "I'd like to be a Laker," said Knecht to TMZ. "I'm all in on the Lakers." He, LeBron, said he can play another 5 or 10 years, added Knecht. "Me and Bron could run it for another 5 or 10 years. Why not?" The Lakers are likely going to make some kind of big move this offseason. Whether or not Knecht will be involved in that move remains to be seen. It's possible that Los Angeles could trade guard Austin Reeves and choose to keep Knecht, or they could include Knecht in a blockbuster deal. Honestly, as of now, I doubt even the Lakers know if Knecht will be on the roster next season. Lakers must replace struggling center before the NBA draft. The Los Angeles Lakers' offseason focus is beyond obvious, with the team searching for lob threats and rim protection. Alex Len and Jackson Hayes are both scheduled to become free agents when the offseason officially begins. There is no need to go into Len's future with anyone having been unfortunate enough to watch the veteran's minutes, understanding what is to come. For Hayes, things are a bit more difficult. Prior to the playoffs, the center was an important piece of the Los Angeles starting lineup. Hayes showed vast improvement after the Luka Doncic trade, bringing more energy and attacking the glass. However, when the lights were brightest, the moment was simply too big for a player who was exposed. With this in mind, the Lakers need to turn the page from Jackson Hayes and find another answer. Looking at the trade market, there is no shortage of centers expected to be on the move in the next weeks. With the Orlando Magic already kicking off off-season trades with the blockbuster deal to acquire Desmond Bane, it seems we are off and running. Lakers must replace struggling center Jackson Hayes. While the Lakers lack any picks of note, the team can use its limited draft capital to add a piece that gives the team a chance to compete for a championship. With LeBron and Luka both expected back for the 2025-26 season, the expectation should be continuing to sacrifice the future for a chance to win it all. This approach has already worked once, with the Lakers winning one championship in the LeBron era. Last season was sacrificed in favor of the future, with the team unable to find a complete lineup after trading Anthony Davis for the former Mavericks star. It was unquestionably the right decision, however, it did sacrifice what chance the team had to win this season. Looking at the market, it seems that Jared Allen should be the first call that Los Angeles makes. Allen is both a lob threat and a great rim protector. It is the type of piece that would push the Lakers over the top into championship contention. Fans should expect this to remain the team's focus as the franchise looks to build a contender and officially begin the Luka era in Los Angeles. Lakers insider reveals realistic path for center upgrade. It's no secret the Los Angeles Lakers will be gearing up to acquire a starter-level center in the offseason. The Jackson Hayes-Alex Len duo was not good enough during a first-round playoff exit versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert did his best Wilt Chamberlain impression and totally dominated in the paint. Needing to remedy this situation without a ton of cap space to do it, NBA pundit Dan Woik went on X and theorizes that the Lakers may be able to find an impact big man, but it likely would come through a trade rather than via free agency. If this theory held true, names such as Clint Capella, Luke Cornett, Brooke Lopez, Kevin Looney, and Andre Drummond might not be fits. Some of them could cost more than the Lakers are willing to pay, and others might not be enough in the way of difference makers to even sign in the first place. The Lakers do have several contracts that could be paired with future draft picks and deals for an upgrade. Brooklyn Nets center Nick Claxton has been heavily rumored as a player who would fit brilliantly with Luka Doncic's skill set as well as the timeline of both Doncic and Austin Reeves. Atlanta Hawks big man Onyeka Okongwu is another name rumored to be of interest to the Lakers front office. Hailing from Southern California, he was an ex-high school teammate of Lonzo and LaMelo Ball in the Inland Empire suburb of Chino Hills. Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz has also been mentioned in rumors. Most recently, Rudy Gobert's name has come up as a possible chip for a Kevin Durant deal. Could the Lakers perhaps entice the Timberwolves with some of their own assets to get the defensive anchor? To get something, the Lakers would have to give up something desirable, and in this situation, it could involve Reeves, Rui Hachimura, last year's first-round pick Dalton Knecht, and draft picks. Reeves, in particular, is the one name worth monitoring. A homegrown star that came through the Lakers system after being undrafted, he may net the team the most in return should he be made available,